Hey, I'm really glad you clicked on this video because we need to have a real honest conversation just between you and me. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had one of those weeks where you finally get a full 8 hours sleep, but you wake up feeling like you didn't sleep at all? Or maybe you find yourself staring at your phone, scrolling through bad news for an hour, fully aware that you should be doing something else, but you just can't move. We usually tell ourselves, oh, I'm just having an off week, or I'm just tired. But the truth is, you might actually be dealing with deep underlying stress without even realizing it. We tend to think stress only happens when we are visibly panicking or crying. But stress is incredibly sneaky. It changes how we think, how we act, and even how we treat the people we love the most. So grab a drink, get comfortable. Let's look at what's actually going on inside your mind and body right now. Let's figure this out together. Let's start with the things you might be dismissing as just bad habits or moods. There are 4 major quiet signs that mean your stress bucket is completely full. The first one is irritability. Have you noticed that tiny things are suddenly setting you off, like someone dropping a spoon or an email notification pops up, and you instantly feel the wave of pure frustration? That's not who you are. That's just a sign that your brain is out of bandwidth. When you're already carrying a heavy mental load, even a tiny feather can break your back. Next up is forgetfulness. Have you walked into a room lately and completely forgotten why you're there? Or maybe you can't find your keys, or you keep missing simple deadlines. Stress literally shrinks the part of your brain responsible for memory. You aren't losing your mind. Your brain is just too crowded to hold on to the small stuff. Then there's emotional numbness. This one is scary. It's that feeling where nothing really excites you, but nothing really makes you sad either. You're just flat. You're cruising on autopilot. It happens because your brain is trying to protect you from being overwhelmed. So it just turns down the volume on all your emotions. And finally, constant tiredness. I don't just mean physical exhaustion. I mean that deep, heavy bone weariness that stays with you all day long. No matter how much caffeine you drink, if you're feeling any of these, don't just judge yourself. Your body is just trying to send you a message. Now, because of these internal feelings, our behavior starts to shift. And usually, we don't notice these changes until we are deep in them. Think about how you have been acting lately. Have you been slipping into isolation? When friends text you to hang out, is your immediate gut reaction to make up an excuse to stay home? It's totally fine to need alone time, but when you start cutting yourself off because interacting with people feels like a chore, that's stress talking. And then comes the cousin of isolation, which is procrastination. This is a huge one. We often think procrastination is just laziness. It's not. Procrastination is an emotional regulation problem. So when a task feels overwhelming, your stressed out brain looks for a way to feel safe right now. So you avoid the task, which leads us straight into doom scrolling. You sit down to do something important, but instead you spend 2 hours scrolling through social media feeds. You aren't enjoying it. Your brain is just looking for a low effort distraction to escape reality. While you're scrolling, maybe you're also overeating. Ever find yourself standing in front of a fridge at 10 p.m., not even hungry, but just looking for something crunchy or sweet? Stress triggers a hormone called cortisol, which literally makes you crave high-fat, high-sugar comfort food. And if someone interrupts you during this loop, out comes the anger. You might snap, raise your voice, or get incredibly defensive over nothing. It's just because your system is trapped in a fight or flight response. Now, I want to clear something up, because people use these 2 words interchangeably all the time, stress and anxiety. They feel very similar, but knowing the difference is a total game changer. Think of stress as a reaction to an external trigger. There is a deadline at work. There is a stack of bills on the counter. There is a conflict with a friend. The pressure you feel from those real tangible things, that's stress. Once that trigger is gone, the deadline passes, the bills are paid, the stress usually goes away. Anxiety, on the other hand, is the internal aftershock. It lives in your imagination. Anxiety is when the deadline is gone, but you're still lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering, what if I get fired next month? What if I'm not good enough? Anxiety is defined by persistent, excessive worries that don't go away even when there's no immediate threat. Here is where they overlap. Both cause a racing heart, shallow breathing, muscle tension, and sleepless nights. So ask yourself right now, are you reacting to a real current problem in front of you? Or is this your mind spinning a web of what ifs about the future? Here's the hardest part about unmanaged stress. It doesn't stay contained inside us. It leaks onto the people we care most, our partners, our family, our friends. The first thing that happens is a short temper. The people closest to us become our emotional dumping ground because we feel safe around them. So when your partner asks a simple question like, "What do you want for dinner?" you might snap back with, "Why is everything my responsibility?" They didn't do anything wrong. They just got the overflow of your stress. Then, to protect them or yourself, you might create emotional distance. You stop sharing how your day went. You pull away from physical touch. You sit on the same couch together, but you feel miles apart because you're totally locked inside your own head. This naturally leads to massive miscommunication. When you're stressed, you hear everything through a negative filter. A harmless comment from a friend can feel like a personal attack. You start reading between the lines that aren't even there, leading to arguments that never needed to happen. If your relationships feel strained right now, take a breath. It might not be a relationship problem at all. It might just be a stress problem. So this brings us to the big question we started with. Why on earth do we still feel so exhausted, even after taking a weekend off or sleeping in? It comes down to two things: emotional exhaustion and nervous system overload. Sleep is great for your muscles and physical body, but sleep alone cannot fix a tired mind. If you spend your weekend resting your body, but your brain is still running a million miles an hour, worrying about tomorrow, you aren't actually resting. Your emotions are draining your battery faster than your sleep can recharge it. Furthermore, your nervous system is likely completely overloaded. Think of your nervous system like a car engine. When you're constantly stressed, you're driving with your foot slammed all the way on the gas pedal. Your engine is revving in the red zone for weeks or months at a time. Even when you park the car and turn it off for the night, the engine is still boiling hot under the hood. It takes time, safety, and intentional care to cool that engine down. So if everything we just talked about sounds a little too familiar, I just want you to take a deep breath right now, inhale, and let it out. You're not broken, you're not lazy, and you're not a bad person for snapping or wanting to hide away. You're just a human being whose system is overwhelmed. Acknowledging it is the very first step to fixing it. Now that you see the signs, you can start giving yourself a little more grace, taking things one small step at a time, and letting your engine finally cool down. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Take care of yourself, okay? I'll see you in the next video.